The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And good afternoon, traders and traderettes all over this globe, listening to us either streaming or live on some terrestrial radio station. It is another beautiful and wonderful edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your host, David White, at the headquarters of Technical Trading and Investing, TFNN.com. Of course, our headquarters are in the lovely Clearwater, Florida, and you couldn't ask for a little better day. It was kind of cool out this morning. The little dog got all frisky, had to take every one of my shoes and take it into the garage. It's just one of those days, but it is like every show. We like to start off with what the special day or the celebration is of the day, and today is known as Plan Your Epitaph Day. From the, to me, your epitaph, I think it should be short and sweet enough to be put on your tombstone, and we have all the ones we normally get, but ones from the beautiful "I Told You I Was Sick." There are some other ones out there that were great. One of my favorites is Rodney Dangerfield. If you're watching on Tiger TV, you'll see it here. He's got a wonderful tombstone that reads, Rodney Dangerfield. There goes the neighborhood. Another one was that's really great is the Ferrer tombstone. I was supposed to live to be 102 and be shot by a jealous husband. Always something to live forward to. If you're a techie, R. Anderson, connection reset by peer. Always like that. He came, he saw, he logged out. 1974 to 2002. But that's pretty much it. What we got going on in the marketplace today, we're looking at a market that I think is probably going to give us a fairly decent signal today. We are watching it. I did decide to go ahead and go short the market this morning. By about 9:45, you could see that the volume was going to be, and what it was going to look like, a fairly decent reversal day in the S&P. We've been looking for that 1428, both in my newsletter, and I've talked about it here. We got to the 1428, went above it to 1434. The volume was infinitesimal, and we tested that high. If the volume comes in as it does today, then we are getting probably going to be a fairly decent day. And that's 1420 right now on the S&P, so fairly decent reversal signal. We've got in the neighborhood of a 15-point high-to-low move out here. We're going to have to continue looking at 2.2 billion shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape. What does that tell us out here today? That it's Friday, light volume. Could we have a reversal Monday or Tuesday and it retest that high? I'd say that there's probably about a 35% chance. I'm willing to take that and stay short not only through the weekend, but actually go through, I think, probably maybe through the end of the year. I don't know if there's going to be a great deal of bullish sentiment for the rest of the year. There are a few reasons why. The first we've heard about yesterday, and that is that George Lucas decided to go ahead and sell basically the Star Wars franchise, Lucasfilms itself, to Disney. And, was he going to do that a little later? He thought he might sell it in the next few years. He'd been talking to him for a while. But $400 million in taxes that he would pay additionally next year is compared to selling it this year, if the taxes and the fiscal cliff go through, was enough. And he got out of about $4 billion. And, I'm kind of glad he got his hands off of it. I wasn't that big a fan of the Star Wars movies. The second set of three but there will be a new Star Wars movie, and apparently from rumors now, it's going to have some of the original stars in that movie back. Mark Hamill may come back and reprise his role, but some of the other ones probably not didn't age that well. Let me put it that way, and I think that we'll be continuing to see maybe Mark Hamill, but maybe the rest will not be in that movie, but he will come back and kind of play the next Obi-Wan for another generation. Out in the news today, we're watching some stocks make new lows. GRPN, Groupon's making a new one. It got below $4 today. And let's see if I can get it to come back up. There we are, 373, off about 7% for us. If anybody ever listened to us at TFNN, they would never have been long the stock. It had literally everything wrong going for it from day one, from a CEO that's ethically challenged, from a business model that was hard to understand how they would be able to defend against anybody. That's probably my biggest knock against Netflix. How do you start another company buying a bunch of servers, setting a bunch of stuff up, and buying the rights to stream the exact same thing that Netflix has? There's a certain amount of market share and mind share that come with a market. Groupon didn't have that. Living Social was the opposite of the coin of Groupon. It's cost, I think, $250 million to Amazon and accounted for most of their losses in the last quarter. But we continue to see a market that's out there that's kind of tough. Apple, fairly early this morning, we started seeing and finding reports out here that Apple's lines were very short for the iPad mini. In fact, by probably about 10 o'clock, the word was in that the lines were extremely light. And I'm not just talking about New York. I'm talking about L.A., some of the other places where people were lining up. There didn't look like the lines that people wanted to see. We were also starting to get reports already from Asia, where they had put this on sale, and the lines were very short, even though, what are they, 12 hours ahead of us, something like that. And they were looking at the iPad mini. If it doesn't sell, if they are not able to sell 5 million by Monday morning, most of the analysts out there are going to say the iPad mini is a dud. Not only that, but we're seeing some severe competition come along with the Nexus 10 tablet. It's a 10-inch tablet for about, what are you going to say, about $500. It's going to be right in there, along with finding the new tablet from Microsoft being widely adopted, at least in the female stay-at-home community. Oprah is pushing the Surface tablet from Microsoft, saying that she liked it better than the Apple one. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. I had a question in here in the in my IM. Did Rodney Dangerfield die today? And the answer is no. Although if I'm ever allowed to tell the story about me and Rodney Dangerfield, maybe it'll have to be on my last day here. But I did meet him once. It involved strippers, big bags of cocaine, limos, and a pedophile who was on television, on late-night television. And normally, a story I can't tell very often, but it happened to me some 30 years ago. But one day maybe I'll get into it. No respect, yes, I think he gets his respect. He's a pretty funny guy, but boy, one of my strangest nights ever in my life. It's like in fact, I probably ought to write a movie about it. That would probably do off good. But it takes about 30 minutes to tell. It's not easy, and it involves the cops, cocaine, Rodney Dangerfield naked in a theater, hookers, prostitutes, and strip clubs. And did I say drugs? Oh, boy, what a night. And I didn't do anything wrong. I got kind of sucked into this whole thing. I am pure as a wind-driven snow. Anyway, someone called up yesterday about Cisco, wanted to get back to that subject. The winner of the Cisco's basically right after I think the call started having to explain why some of their bids are so ridiculous on the price of their routers. But there's yesterday, I think right after my show, a contract was awarded with the state of California for a lot of routers. And Cisco, Alcatel-Lucent, HP all got into it. Alcatel-Lucent, of course, the French-based European conglomerate, came in at $22 billion for these routers. HP came in and said their contract would be for $41 million. Cisco bid was $123 million. The price of these routers have been falling and falling and falling. I knew that Alcatel was getting probably 75% of the business in Europe just because the standard big flagship router is about $5,000 for Cisco, and it had gotten down to about $3,500 for the Alcatel-Lucent one. But apparently it's even now down even a whole lot less. But just the miserable contract that Cisco even decided to give them shows almost the hubris that Cisco has. When that gentleman called in, I said I thought that Cisco would be more of a short than a long. I still think that today. We've known a lot about the problems with flooding. I think a lot of people don't know just how bad the jobs numbers are probably going to be when we get them next time. But beyond just the standard flood conditions, we're seeing in West Virginia 36 inches of snow, Tennessee 34 inches, just all kinds of just 2-3 foot snowfall dropping in a lot of those Appalachian areas, and that's going to hold up this early. A lot of them haven't even got in their sand and salt for the winter, although they probably should have. But most of them get it to come in about November when they see what they anticipate what the fall is going to be. So we're probably going to have a lot of states, not just the border states on the ocean, showing up with some probably weak job numbers over the next 7 to 10 days. A lot of these special smaller areas of West Virginia, Tennessee, into Kentucky are going to probably see both school closures and business closures for several days. So the storm is kind of the gift that keeps on giving, Mr. Frankenstorm. Anyway, let's see if I left that. It's pretty much the big news so far today. Just remember to plan your epitaph. It should be short, sweet, should fit on your tombstone. I'm thinking about mine, what it should be. Anyway, we get back. We're going to go right into some charts. Boy, what do we have out here that's interesting? We've got a Gartley with Yahoo. We got some other charts out here that look very interesting. Anyway, we will be back in a minute. You can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. Give me a ring right now. Do it.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Millionaires are made every day. The fact is, living your dreams is possible. Someone, somewhere is going to get rich. My recommendation is, let that be you. Each day, someone is making the decision to better themselves and creating a plan to fulfill their financial dreams. Let that be you. The key to turning dreams into reality is to take massive action. Let that be you. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Master Show with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN, and I can help you with your journey to great wealth. I'll show you how to create the ultimate financial edge, a set of tools, insights, and strategies that are part of my daily newsletter service, Mastering Probability. You'll have direct access to me by phone, email, and my private library of trading and investing secrets for 30 days with an unconditional money-back guarantee. I'll take your trading to the next level. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage at TFNN.com and turn your dreams into reality. Mastering Probability, folks. Let that be you.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, like I said, we're going to get to some charts here a little earlier today. Please give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. We'd love to hear from you. But looking at Yahoo, we haven't talked about Gartley patterns for a while, and looking pretty good here. We've got, if you're watching or hopefully watching on Tiger TV, you can see these charts a little bit clearer, or in the den. But we've got, a nice, I wouldn't say it's a high dollar kind of Gartley pattern in Yahoo, but we certainly have one setting up from what are we at here? Starting up on December 22nd of last year down to the A point on March 6th at $14.35. B point comes in on August 7th. And we've got back to the C point, kind of a huge retracement, basically an 88% retracement of the AB down to the September 4th low at $14.59. And we're getting to both the top of a gap and the top of a bearish butterfly in Yahoo. I think why they're trying to push the stock fairly hard, it's going to be kind of tough to see how this thing actually comes in line. We're seeing some other ones out here that I thought may have an opportunity to move well. And one of the ones I always particularly like is the old Weight Watchers trade, and that happens kind of pretty much starting about Thanksgiving and lasts into February, as a lot of people try to lose those pounds that they pack on over the next few months. This thing could probably be in a ABC up, and what I showed in my newsletter today, the path of least resistance, is just that. I'm not really thinking that there is a big bull market coming, but if we do see something change Monday or Tuesday, I want you to keep this one in mind. It is WTW, Weight Watchers. It's done basically the 618 retrace, or 637 retrace, but it didn't do the 618. But it is one of the better patterns out here. The volume was light in the pullback. We've got kind of a blowout to the low side out here. But if you were looking for a nice little ABC, this is not too bad. Your A point comes in at $40.60 on August 2nd. It takes you up to your September 19th high at $57.25. If today is our low point, let me redraw this for a second. If today is our low point on at 46.65, a 1-to-1 takes you to $63.30, which is not a bad little pattern. You've got a couple little gaps, but you probably have some fairly open field running until about the $66 range. But if you look at this thing, every fall it kind of runs up. Every spring it kind of tapers back down as everybody forgets about losing that weight. And what else do we have going on here? Washington real estate. I was watching this one kind of as a proxy as how the real estate companies are doing. Washington Real Estate Investment Trust, WRE, one of the few out here that did have a nice little test of its lows over the last few days. The July 27th low at $25.59 with just a little under 3 million shares came in and got tested on a little pierce of it over the last few days. It got down to $25.20 on 630,000 shares. But we've had very light volume into this. The key would be a big market change. And I don't suspect, unless we have a huge surprise in the election on Wednesday, I suspect we're going to continue to sell off into the end of the year as people like George Lucas, a lot of other traders, start worrying about what will happen if we have to take those capital gains into next year. So we'll continue looking at that. Tractor Supply, Tereso Corporation, TSO. Another one out here that begs a kind of an interesting look. There's several gaps down here. I don't see this. It's going to be light volume today. But you certainly did have this thing take off with a sign of strength. That happened back on the 13th of August. This thing ran very well. Popped up on 15 million shares, and as we look, it went up to 44.73. It's come back down the last couple of days. 3 million shares, 4.6 million shares, 6 million shares. Going to come in light today. If we do get some kind of big change, I am short, and I think we are going to be headed down for a little while. But if I'm wrong, I'm always looking to how I could flip instantly on a dime and go the other way. Tesoro, TSO, is one to keep an eye on.
You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. TFNN and Great Panther Silver have teamed up for another exciting silver giveaway. The Great Panther Silver Halloween giveaway will be taking place at the end of October, and for 3 full days, we'll be giving away silver coins and bars every hour from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. to one lucky winner randomly chosen. There's no purchase necessary. For more information and to fill out your registration form today, simply visit the front page of TFNN.com where you'll find all the details. October 29th, 30th, and 31st, we'll choose one lucky winner that will receive a silver coin or bar courtesy of Great Panther Silver. Winners will be announced live on the air each hour for 3 full days. Don't miss out on this great opportunity to win free silver from TFNN and Great Panther Silver. Register today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com, and for more information on Great Panther Silver, you can click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE Amex, symbol GPL, or on the Toronto Stock Exchange, symbol GPR. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, we always have something interesting to talk about. In the stock market, it seems like today it is this pullback here, and whether or not we are getting a clear picture of what this market is doing. But what you don't like is a nice run at the top at 1428. We've been bucking against it for a couple of days. We had a lot of volume. A lot of times that can be the last exhaustion move. We've had a highly short market. They couldn't get it to run. We got a lot of volume one day, no volume the next. Then we get into something like today where you go and try to burrow out that top. Volume does not come in. We've got 2.3 billion shares right now. We did get to a high of 1434 on the S&P cash. We're back down to 1420. I suspect that there is very strong support back at the 1350 level. And why is that? One of the things we haven't been able to use in the last couple of years because of market conditions has been our confluence levels. Confluence levels are set up when retraces, standard Fibonacci retraces, can be put back together. The original book was written by Joe DiNapoli about it. Tom's improved on it some and added the volume component to it. But what we really have is a market that sets up, let's see if that's right. Maybe it's a 2-year one we're looking at. That is it. When you actually look at these, what you're looking for is that they're taken out over a considerable length of time. The shorter the time frame and the wider the price spread of one Fibonacci retrace hitting the other actually is a significant in it. If it's big and wide, and if you hopefully you're watching Tiger TV, because we've got one here, and when we look at it, it is very, it's maybe about 8 points on the S&P. It runs from about 1340 to 1352, something like that. Really shows just how narrow that band is. Pretty good example of exactly where support should be in a market or in a stock. The wider it is, of course, if we're looking at the next one here, off the next set of Fibonacci retraces, you'll see it's probably 4 or 5 times wider. It's 30 points wide, something like that in the S&P. Not very predictive out there. And we want to go right to Stan. Stan, how you doing today?
Wonderful.
I understand that you're probably just a little bit better off than most of us today.
Yes, I am, and it's a full ounce too, isn't it?
It is Friday, and you get the full ounce.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, where are you from, Stan?
Where am I from? Originally Chicago. I'm living in Phoenix.
Ah, well, I'm sure the weather's there is nice today. But,
it is. Sunshine today.
So what are you going to do with this? You going to hide this, bury it in the backyard? What are you planning on doing?
Listen, we're on the air. I can't tell you.
Okay, not putting it in a safety deposit box then, huh?
No, I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I'm not telling.
You're not telling. Well, it isn't the crown jewels anything, but it is something. It's better than
be a loaf of bread someday.
It's better than a poke in the eye, as I always say. Anyway,
it sure is.
Well, we'll be sending that to you. I think they already got all your information, so you should be ready to go and have that full ounce of Great Panther silver. And have a great day, Stan.
Isn't that fine? And you have a better one.
You bet. We'll see you later.
Thanks.
And another great winner. Of course, on Fridays, we're giving away a full ounce of that Great Panther silver. Always a great day to do that. Anyway, we were talking about the S&P and moving back into these confluence levels. And normally what I have seen over time, and it gels with the previous work from Joe DiNapoli on putting these together, that if you try to use them in very close time frames and those wide price areas, they do not work very well. But in these, in fact, I'm going to try to get rid of this one here. Let me zoom in just a little bit better so we can see this. When they do get nice and tight like that over 2 nice significant moves, they are very predictive, and the market likes to come back to them even if it is a bullish market, which I think this could still be a bullish market. We could get back down to 1350. It may take us, a few weeks, maybe but I'm thinking after Thanksgiving, I'm looking for sales numbers probably to pull back a little. Certainly, we've had a huge amount of stimulus in this marketplace. If you just looked at the ads on television, you know how much money those broadcasters are making. They probably won't see that kind of money again for another 3.5 years. And so, there is a lot of cyclical stuff in this marketplace. But I suspect that there's no answer to the fiscal cliff, no matter who gets elected next Tuesday, Wednesday. And the reality of this market's going to pull back. And a lot of people are going to probably start getting a little nervous about maybe the chance of capital gains prices, taxes going higher. I think they're going to sell into it, much like they held into it when it was going down in 2000, 2001. But that's my working theory. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648, and we'll talk about your particular stock. Another one we're looking at here is Teradata. Teradata, we actually had kind of a market that made me think that there's at least a few stocks out here that were coming into support and might be buyable. Teradata basically yesterday came back into a gap with higher volume and negated that. And this was one of the ones I'm looking. You're going to need a bounce and a pullback into the lows of yesterday to have it go back and show you anything. QLogic is another one that out here that if we did have some kind of massive turnaround, maybe I'm wrong on the market. I don't think so, but I would be quick enough not to stay on the losing side for too long. I always like that wonderful Jesse Livermore quote. There's no sin being wrong in the stock market. The only sin is staying wrong. And in this, not a bad-looking chart out here. You've got a nice move, possibly up to almost $13. The July 27th low came down with huge volume of 12 million shares. We've been going into that with about 3.5 million shares over the last few days. You need to close back above $9.56 and this market to actually decide to go higher and not continue to go lower out here. So probably right now, I think the first sign of strength in this market probably not going to happen till Monday. We're still seeing the market pull back. Now we're about 14.17 on the S&P cash. I suspect that 14.08 continues to be support level. We're going to have one more support level back around the 13.95 level. I suspect we're probably going to bounce around that 13.95 to 13.08 or 14.08 area through the election, and then maybe we'll see that 13.50 stand, and maybe a great place for a Christmas rally to start, or maybe the signs of impending doom and the zombie apocalypse and the end of the world with the Mayan calendar. We've always got that going for us, don't we? So anyway, let's look at a few more stocks out here. PES, Pioneer Energy Services, another one out here. Looks like it's on another day out here, ready to start testing some lows. PES is the symbol on it. What I'm looking for is this October 4th low at $5.83. Had 1.6 million shares. As we look in the last few days, you're getting maybe a million on the high. But this thing's going sideways very nicely. Maybe a sign of accumulation down here for Pioneer Energy. So we want to be keeping an eye on that. OCR is another one. Omnicare. OCR is breaking a high, and it's done it with vastly lighter volume. You want to be very careful on this one. OCR is the symbol. You had the last major high out here on April 3rd. That came in with 5 million shares. You're back up against this again. 2.6 million shares yesterday, going to be light volume again today. A lot of these stocks are in a nice trading range, if not giving a signal that maybe they're kind of at the end of their rope for these trading channels in it. So we will continue to look at that. Network Appliance, another one I've been waiting at here. Everything says that the storage market should be really big in out here, and we do have one that looks fairly decent out here. Network Appliance, of course, makes a lot of those kind of appliances for vast storage of data. NTAP. Is the symbol on it. What I'm looking at, it is the May 24th low, $27.79 at 54 million shares. Of course, you had some kind of surprise that day. You came in with huge volume, and we'll be keeping an eye on that. We've got a phone call. We're going to go to that. But anyway, very light volume, Intap. Keep an eye on that. We have a caller, and it is Frank. And how are you doing today, Frank?
Well, I'm okay as long as we're not talking about crypts and tombstones.
Okay, well, have you figured out what's going to be on yours?
Keep the music playing, baby.
That's not a bad sentiment to put on it, and it fits on a tombstone. So.
Hey, listen, I'm in the puts of Royal Gold. I got the April 1375 puts on Royal Gold. I'm up to 50.
Looks good to me. I think this thing is probably headed back to this high volume day, right around $75. That day was 6/1. So what is that? June 1st? Yeah, June 1st. I had 2.1 million shares. That was the sign of strength. It went sideways for, 2-3 weeks and finally started this move up. But normally, you can get those tests, but that's generally where support last leaves. And I could see this thing coming back fairly quickly to $75. So you said you had April's?
I have April, 75 puts. I'm up $250. So should I get out now?
Well, the problem is you've got to get it to $75.
Up $250.
Yeah. How many do you have?
I only have 5.
Okay. You've got April, so you've got a lot of time out here.
I know.
To tell you the truth,
yeah.
What you've done exactly what really makes money in options.
Yeah.
You've done, which is you don't, and unfortunately most people are not willing to take a number of losses to get the one that really pays them back hugely.
Right.
And that's the problem. The problem is you're probably not looking anything lower than maybe 73 or 75 on the thing.
Right.
You almost needed to get something like 80 or 85s to really make them pay off as well as they should. The problem is, as it continues going lower, the premium, they're going to continue sucking the premium out of those. You just, let me put it this way, I would suspect that you went a little too far in it. I would have rather seen you get the 80s or the 85s and pay up a little bit more,
right.
And then get out when it hit what's probably going to be fairly decent support around that 75, 73 level. I would say that especially what we're looking at in gold here today, that we're probably going to get at least a follow-through. Let me see if I can pull this up. Just give me a minute here. To look at something here. I want to look and see the last print on gold. And I'm telling you what, I'm looking at, I think you're probably going to want to look at the two things. We've got gold off $37 today, but I wanted to look also at crude. It's off $2.33. I suspect you're going to see both of those continue to move down, and you're probably going to see, I would probably interact both of those because I have a feeling it's a more of a dollar issue. But when you see probably crude and probably in the 82, 82.50 range,
right, is
probably where you're going to probably find gold also try to take and make a bottom also. So I'd probably think about holding them maybe into at least the election day.
Exactly
and then reconsider and look at the market again. I wouldn't sell them today. Let me put it that way.
No, I'm up 250, but I just didn't want to take that little bit of profit. I think that there's a little bit more downside, like you said.
You don't buy way out of the money puts and calls.
I never do. I mean, that's not way out. I mean, the 75s are only 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 out of the money.
Yeah. Let me finish this up.
Okay.
You don't buy way out of the money puts and calls unless you want a huge score, because you're going to lose a lot of times out of it. The difference is that when you do win, it has to be massive. You've got to have a 50 to 1, a 20 to 1 payback to make them work out over time. Yeah. I like your play, but you really needed to be able to set this up for probably 85s to really make it pay out the way you want it to.
Yeah.
So look at it again Wednesday. Give me a call after the election. I think we probably have a much better idea of whether or not you should start taking your money. But I like your play.
Thank you.
You bet.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try patterns, profits, and peace of mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's patterns, profits, and peace of mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to tfnn.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to tfnn.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at tfnn.com.
There we go. As we come back, just wanted to make one more comment. I don't think he's still on the line, is he? To Frank, and that is, I would read a book. Because there's a guy that's made billions of dollars doing exactly what you did and being right only a very small amount of the time. But he didn't settle for small money. The book is called The Black Swan. It's by Nassim Taleb. And he wrote a previous book called Fooled by Randomness. I'd read that one first, actually. It's the better of the two books. But Nassim is a pretty intellectual guy. I don't buy everything that he puts in his book. But one thing he did know is that, and it's very apropos, and that is that statistics on the edges of a marketplace, of any marketplaces, are generally priced incorrectly. Insurance companies find this out because they look at 100-year data for their flood plans and continually lose over time. At the very extremes of options in the stock market, they are normally well underpriced. A lot of times 3, 4, or 5 times underpriced, because most people don't believe it can happen to them or their stock, or a hurricane's not going to hit New York. It's just unthinkable. But we go back just a few years. In the 1950s, we had 3 major hurricanes hit New York. We had them come in 1889, something like that. Another big hurricane came in and flooded New York. It happens time over time, but unfortunately humans, their normal lifespan isn't long enough to ever understand. It's kind of like a flea standing on a dog's back. The whole world is that dog, and even then it takes a long time to get from the tail to the head. Us humans just don't work well with statistics. But that book, no big words, no heavy math. It's kind of flowery. I kind of enjoyed the book, but certainly one of those things that I would take a look at, especially in the position you're in. Fooled by Randomness by Nassim Taleb, a wonderful book about buying way out of the money puts and calls, and about different traders and how they work. Unfortunately, just like a lot of people, to a hammer, everything is a nail. And of course, he spent his life figuring out options and the math behind it. But he's made about $3.5 billion doing so, and is able to sit in the park most days and read books. So not a bad gig if you could get it. And he's coming out with his next big book here very shortly. Want to check in with these markets just as they're closing here, because they have been weaker throughout the day. Finding some kind of support around 14.16 right now, but I suspect we're probably going to sell into the close. Looks right now we're probably going to come in at about 14.12 for the closing tick on the S&P cash would be my educated guess on it. And probably a little people getting out of the way of the election. Look for light volume Monday and Tuesday, with a lot of heavy volume in specific stocks that might change. On a Romney election, really look for coal stocks to move, and they kind of have over the last, since the debates. But I continue to think that we're probably going to see a little bit of movement in just a few areas, healthcare and coal, and then the market as a whole, unless they can come up with some way of getting us through this fiscal cliff and assuring traders that they're not going to have much higher capital gains next year. I suspect we're in for some selling, a heap of selling. Anyway, you all have a great and safe day. I'm going to be back with Tom O'Brien in the second hour of his show. We're going to be talking about some technology news, and maybe even things you'd like to have for the next storm if it comes your way, whether it's ice or a hurricane or a tornado. Boy, everything's coming to get you.